Hey everybody, Dr. Greco here. Welcome to Ministry in a Minute. It is Friday. It's our last day discussing this humility discussion that Jesus had in Luke 14. And do us a favor, go ahead and like and share this video. It really would help us out. And if you have not seen the archives on the YouTube channel, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. There's a link to it in this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You really help us out. And don't forget, we have a podcast too, Kingdom Insights. Look that up, and discussing all things church and ministry with other pastors and leaders. So as we get to the end of this section, Jesus reminds us that if we will get out of God's way, He'll use us. And if we view the world the way Jesus does, then He says that our reward, He says to the host of the banquet, don't invite the people that can repay you, but invite the lame and the blind and the crippled and the poor, and then you'll be blessed. And He says, although they can't repay you, you'll be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. Folks, I think the last thing Jesus talks about here, and maybe the most important thing, is that humility allows us to have the gospel front and center in our thinking. I teach a class at Grand Canyon University, spirituality and ethics in healthcare. And one of the things I try to convey to Christian students, to nurses and aides and people who are in healthcare who also have a Christian worldview, is that the gospel always needs to be on our tongue. 1 Peter says, always be prepared to give an answer when people ask you for the hope that you have. Okay? And I know people sometimes don't always feel comfortable witnessing to people, but we as Christians should be ready. I think one of the reasons we don't feel comfortable sharing the gospel, or as leaders, we don't always automatically divert, we don't automatically go to our first question being, well, are you saved? We actually try to counsel people. We're pastors. What do we know besides the Bible? Okay, we're Christians. We're not counselors. When people need help, all we have to give them is the gospel, and the gospel's all they really need. I mean, obviously, we need to work through trauma, and people do need counseling, and that's real stuff. But you have to work from a place of believing God can help you. You have to start with the gospel. Humility allows us to do that. Humility breaks down that barrier of thinking, oh, I can help. Only God can help. Humility reminds us that God's the real one doing the ministry. And it puts the gospel front and center. Our repayment is the gospel. It's the resurrection. And the true help of the world is the gospel. It's the resurrection. And if we get out of the way, not only do we have an accurate picture of people, but we're instantly reminded that God's the helper, and that the gospel is the beginning. It's the foundation to every answer and all the help people need. And it allows us to prioritize that. So, next week we'll be on to something different. I think we're going to spend some time in Psalm 1, just the most basic description of faith. Like and share this video, and we'll see you next week for another Ministry in a Minute.